Welcome to my channel Literature Boy. Today we will analyze the nature of poetic truth or poetry, philosophy, history, and science, their differences or poetic and scientific truth. First, we will read about poetry, the most philosophical of all writings. Wordsworth agrees with Aristotle that poetry is the most philosophical of all writings. Poetic truth is higher than the truth of history or philosophy. Its object is truth, not individual and local, but general and operative. History deals with the particular, and the philosophy with the universal, but the poetry deals with the particular and the universal. Poetry aims at universal truth and also illustrates them through particular examples. By the one philosophical, Wordsworth means that which is more conducive to understanding, a better source of wisdom and knowledge. Now we will read about poetry, the image of man and nature, the sources of poetic pleasure. According to Wordsworth, poetry is the image of man and nature. It aims at truth to nature, at the faithful reproduction of reality. There are many obstacles in the way of the historian and the philosopher, whereas the poet has to encounter only one obstacle, and that is the necessity of giving immediate pleasure to a human being. The historian's task is difficult because he has to collect facts from history before interpreting them correctly. The end of poetry is to impart immediate pleasure. This should not be considered as the degradation of the poet's art. That's art. It should be rather considered as an acknowledgement of the beauty of the universe, and as a homage paid to the dignity of man. The end of poetry is to impart immediate pleasure. This should not be considered as the degradation of the poet's art. That's art. It should be rather considered as an acknowledgement of the beauty of the universe, and as a homage paid to the dignity of man. Now we will see the relationship between poetry and science. According to Wordsworth, the poet considers man and nature as one, and the mind of man as naturally the mirror of the beauties of nature. Thus the poet, prompted by the feelings of pleasure, converses with affections and with general nature. The scientist, who works hard in the search for truth, also finds pleasure in truth. The knowledge both of the poet and the man of science is pleasure. But the knowledge or truth which the scientist realizes is particular and personal. This truth comes to him slowly, and cannot be shared by mankind in general. The pleasure which this truth provides is limited to the individual scientist only. He cherishes and loves it in his solitude. The poet, on the other hand, sings a song in which all human beings join with him. His poetic truth is universal. Now we also analyze the criticism of this theory, the immediate effect of the poetic truth. Wordsworth believed that poetry offered a special kind of truth. He does not wish to separate poetry and science entirely. However, he opposes poetry, not to science itself, but rather to what he regarded as the scientific mode of apprehension. Scientific knowledge, he thought, was remote from human interests and feelings. By contrast, the impact of poetic truth was immediate. Not standing upon external testimony, but carried alive into the heart by passion. This immediacy was the only thing that mattered. Wordsworth wrote that he would welcome science to the household of man whenever the meaning of its discoveries could become manifestly and palpably material to us as enjoying and suffering beings, and when science itself should assume a form of flesh and blood. Godlessness of science. Wordsworth respected science that raised the mind to the contemplation of God, but he despised all science which was a bare collection of facts for their own sake. In Wordsworth's judgment, such a science waged war with and wished to extinguish imagination in the mind of man. Kindly subscribe my channel and share with friends. If you like the video, do not forget to share with your friends.